So today I will be arguing for the continuation of NASA's funding. Many Americans who are opposed to funding NASA believe that NASA is using its budget to fund space exploration programs. However, this is incorrect. About 40% of NASA's budget is used towards space exploration, while about 56% goes elsewhere. A lot of the money goes towards earth science research such as climate change, aeronautics, non-renewable resources, renewable resources, and a small amount goes towards education. Actually, within the past years, NASA's budget has decreased so much that we are now at 0.1% of the US's national budget. And to put this in a little bit of perspective of how much less NASA is using compared to before, compared to other things, actually, it took about $1 billion to build a football stadium in Minnesota, and about 50% of that $1 billion, so about $500 million of tax money, was used to build. While with a large satellite being created and launched into space to reach Pluto, NASA only spent about $200 million. That's such a smaller, insignificant amount compared to the silly football stadium that we have built in Minnesota. A lot of people who are opposed to NASA believe that the money that is put into NASA can also be used for jobs elsewhere. However, NASA provides actually a lot of jobs for people. They're currently responsible for providing 18,000 jobs, and specifically in one research center, they're responsible for creating 8,400 jobs, which then in turn creates about $1.3 billion in economic activity, which then also helps the surrounding areas around that, and the U.S. economy as well. Another big factor that people who oppose NASA believe that the money from NASA could be used towards ending other bigger problems such as hunger, and should be given instead to USDA or other big national corporations in order to fix that problem. But NASA actually helps with hunger as well. Since NASA deals with earth sciences, there's a lot of research going into desertification, arable land, how much land we can use for food production, and how much we can make. They're also finding other ways to produce food at a higher rate, something that's more efficient, more environmentally friendly, so we can produce a higher amount of food, for a longer period of time, which in turn can help end hunger by spreading even more food and goods amongst the people. A lot of people who also are opposed to funding NASA say that their space explorations within the past decade have been failed and pointless. This is not true, actually. NASA's only had 2 fatal incidents. Most have been very successful, and NASA has been successfully able to send about 203 people into space. A lot of other good things NASA does is they do a lot of climate change research. So NASA is actually the ones responsible to find out that the climate change data for the past 150 years has been completely incorrect and been taken to a measure because before the predictions for climate change were incorrect, scientists were seeing that climate change was actually going much faster than they predicted, but it was because of the faulty data. They're able to pinpoint the mistakes and were able to reconfigure predictions. Another good thing that NASA has been doing is what's called the Boeing Ego Demonstrator. So with this airplane here, they've been able to decrease its size while not decreasing its efficiency. And in turn, by decreasing its size, it theoretically also lessens the amount of fuel it uses, which if aviation industries actually use this, they can decrease the amount of fuel they use per domestic flights, especially in the US. And so the less amount of fuel they use, the smaller carbon footprint, and the more money they can save as well. for each flight. So the fact that NASA has been able to make such a large impact on such small funds is a tremendous achievement. One can only imagine the success that NASA can have with a larger budget. If NASA were to have a larger budget, they'd be able to create more jobs, which could decrease unemployment, and they could also help end hunger and global warming.